Hi everyone, my name is Samaya Ward, and today we're going to be discussing the impacts of gentrification on America's society. I've been on to ask what are some factors that you believe have a major impact on society. Gentrification isn't usually one of your answers. Well, after hearing my speech, I hope to help you understand why it should be one of your answers. My speech will consist of a history of gentrification, the positive and negative impacts of gentrification, and a brief discussion on the controversy of gentrification. After conducting some extensive research, I have discovered some essential information that I believe could be very helpful to American citizens, especially those who live in minority communities. Well, I bet you're probably wondering, what even is gentrification? Well, gentrification is defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary as a process in which lower class areas experience an influx of middle class and upper class renovations of homes and or businesses that will result in increased property value and a displacement of previous residents. The term gentrification was coined by Ruth Glass in London in 1964 as she was describing the rearrangement and movement of the lower class residents as the upper class residents modernized London in 1964. Gentrification then accelerated in the late 1970s in America when the Federal Historic Preservation Tax Credit was passed into law, making it admirable for developers to renovate historic buildings. And since the 1980s up until now, there have been many factors that made gentrification possible in America, such as increased population rates, increased poverty rates, home ownership rates, and increased family income. This brings us to our next topic of conversation, which are the ways that gentrification positively and negatively impact America. On a positive note, gentrification increases property value, produces new residential and business opportunities, increases local tax revenue, and also reduces local crime rates. But on a negative note, gentrification increases the cost of living and leads to the displacement of existing residents. Not to mention, the whole system of gentrification is built against minorities, meaning it negatively impacts the minorities communities in a huge way. Personally, I believe that gentrification is a good thing, even though it impacts the economy in a negative way, because it produces new opportunities for the future residents of America. This brings us to our next topic of conversation, which is the controversy of gentrification. Now, there's many people in this world that believe gentrification is a good thing for society, and there are many people in this world that believe gentrification is a bad thing for society. So, many upper class residents and many major business owners will argue that gentrification is a good thing because it improves economic sustainability and is beneficial to the safety of American citizens. But on the other hand, many lower class residents and minority American citizens will argue that gentrification is a bad thing because it leads to the displacement of the previous generations, and it increased rent prices will lead to the forced evictions of the earlier residents. So now it's time for you guys to piece all of my information together and find an answer to my question. Does gentrification have a positive or negative impact on society? Well, after hearing my speech, I hope you now know that gentrification is the process of neighborhood change by means of real estate investment or higher income residents. Ever since the 1970s, wealthy Americans have been secretly working against minority communities to gentrify the cities of America. And there are many reasons why gentrification is a good thing, and there are many reasons why gentrification is a bad thing. I personally believe that gentrification is a good thing because it increases property values and produces safer neighborhoods, and it also produces many new opportunities that could be helpful for future residents of America. You have to think about the future of America here, guys. A lot of people will say that gentrification is a bad thing because they're worried about the past residents, but many folks like to focus on the future. So in other words, gentrification is a positive thing for the future and a negative thing for the past. So I can't answer the question for you, so I hope you leave your answer in the comments, and I hope you enjoy my speech. Thank you.